Hello, and it is Carla and Emma here, founders of the MerryBody app and also our 200-hour yoga teacher training program. We're really excited to be here with you today. We're going to go through a couple of questions. Actually, I can see on my list over here, there's more than a couple of questions that we've received regarding our upcoming cohort for our online yoga teacher training, which we're so excited to start on the 4th of May. So we're going to jump straight into them. Thank you to everyone who submitted their questions. This is so helpful for us because usually when you've got a question, it means someone else has a question.
hmm
They just haven't emailed us. So that's why we're answering them here. And also, if you're more of a reader, Emma answered them in text as well.
I might need to add a bit more, which I don't really need to tell you anyway, because I'm going to give you the final response anyway.
Exactly. Let us get into the questions. The first question that we've received was, what would be the recommended time investment per day/week regarding the yoga teacher training? A great question.
Well, I was just going to add, because when you see that 200 hours, you're like, what? Like, how even long is 200 hours? Like, that seems overwhelming.
Mm.
And I mean, this answer and the way you're going to go through an online course is different for everyone. Some people will power through and they'll do the kind of 10 to 12 hours of content each and every week, and that's how much there is every week. However, you don't need to get it all done each and every week. That is the amazingness, the magic of online courses, that you can go at your own pace.
Hmm.
So what we recommend to do is to kind of allow at least 2 to 3 hours. Is that about right? 2 to 3 hours?
Yes.
At least, to kind of create a momentum and also keep up with the live calls. Now, we'd suggest to do a little bit more to get the benefit of that live time with us, that 16 weeks live community and that time and support with us. However, we don't want to kind of make it not work for your life. So it's all about making it work for you and
Hmm.
your schedule.
And regarding those 2 to 3 hours, every single week we actually send you the recommended classes to tick off.
Mhm.
So you won't be, I guess, having that decision fatigue of
Mm.
which 2 to 3 hours should I do. We actually send you those core 2 to 3 hours of classes to tick off to ensure that you can feel like you can participate and feel, I guess, really part of those live coaching calls that we do each and every week for the 16 weeks. This we brought in for our second cohort, and it was something that all of our trainees absolutely loved. What tended to happen was that they would tick off those 2 to 3 classes, build so much momentum, and they'd actually end up doing more
Mm.
than what they
Mhm.
expected. So this is what we would suggest, remembering that you have a full 12 months to complete the entire program. So you can take your time to finish those assessments and not feel overwhelmed. So often with yoga teacher training, it has to be completed within 4 weeks, maybe it's 10 weekends. And everyone just doesn't have the time and the capacity to do that. And that's why we are so excited that, our yoga teacher training makes it possible for people all over the world in all areas, well, not areas, in all walks of life to be able to actually complete a training like
Mm.
this, which normally you have to kind of turn life off to do.
Yeah.
And that's not what the case is here.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so next question. Do I need to have any previous yoga experience or qualifications before I can join?
And the simple answer is no, not at all. What I would suggest is to have an interest in yoga. That does help. And of course, if you're tuning into this, you do have an interest in yoga. So really, it doesn't matter how good your physical practice is. It doesn't matter how many breathwork sessions or meditations. You don't need any qualifications at all. You don't even need to be tech savvy. I'm going heavy on the inverted commas. You don't need to be confident in using an online platform, because the one we use is super confident, easy to use is what I was trying to say. And we'll talk about that more in another question. But really, all you need is to have a little bit of passion, a little bit of bliss feeling, a little bit of excitement about yoga itself.
And you will soon realize that the postures, the meditation, the breath work, those practices are actually such a small amount of yoga itself. And really, that's the most exciting part about yoga is when you step into a yoga teacher training, you really dive deep and you start to gain awareness of, oh, wow, this is much more than I first thought it was. And that's the real life transformation stuff, the real life changing stuff.
Yep, absolutely.
So the next question. Is this training officially accredited? Will it be recognized if I want to teach internationally? This is a really important question and one that we're really proud of to answer because our online yoga teacher training is accredited and certified with Yoga Alliance's elevated yoga school certification. I have to say elevated because it got changed and it is very rigorous to get it, I guess, certified with this standard. So this means that it is recognized worldwide. That's why we chose to go with the Yoga Alliance. We know that we've got members and trainees all over the world. So it needed to be, I guess, recognized in all corners. And that's why we went with Yoga Alliance. This means once you do graduate, you will receive a certificate. You can register with Yoga Alliance if you choose to. And that means, you know, when you go to potentially teach at studios, it is absolutely recognized and they will know that you are certified with a great training. Next question. What styles of yoga are taught throughout the course?
And Hatha yoga, vinyasa. So these are your flows, your slow flows, your faster flows. Think chaturangas. You are the lead yoga teacher. You should probably explain this.
Yeah,
not yin yoga.
Not yes. So not. I mean, there is elements of restoration.
Yes.
Within the way that we teach, and we teach in a way where it's very much a heating practice in the beginning and then you kind of cool down at the end. So it's almost like you go to the sun and then you go to the moon is the way that we teach. So flow yoga, this is your warrior sequences, your lunges, this is your sun salutations, this is your pigeons if you love that. And then in your restoration, you've got your floor sequences as well, lots of forward folding, lots of twists, lots of back bends and things like that. You will actually learn how to teach and how to practice 108 different poses. And you know, when I tell this to other people who have created programs and have been part of programs, they're like, what?
That's a lot of poses.
And it is, but we wanted you to have, you know, a full, I guess, breadth and depth of different poses that you can learn and you can teach and include in your practice. But the style that you will end up being able to teach is a vinyasa flow style, as Emma mentioned. And yeah, we like to underline, yeah, not yin, because that is another style that we do teach. And I guess that's an easy way to explain it. If you would like to try out the type of yoga that we teach, let us know, write back to us, and we will send you a link to a class that you can try.
We could even send you a link to a full-length class from
that's what we'll do,
the
right?
teacher training.
Actually,
should we add that?
We'll add that to this question.
Yeah.
And so click the link inside your email to try out one of the classes, and then you will understand exactly what we're talking about in regard to the style of yoga you will learn to teach. Do that class and you will be able to teach like how I teach in that class, because we give you all of the tools and everything you need in order to design classes like that, and then also feel confident in order to lead and teach classes like that. All right, next question. Are there any hidden costs that I should know about, or is everything included in the tuition fee?
So everything is included that you need. However, there are 2 additional recommended readings, 2 books, and you can get them off whatever bookshop you like, Amazon, Booktopia, whatever your preferred bookseller is. And so they're the basic book charges. What's a basic book charge? About $20 to $30. And they're great books anyway. Like, I mean, these are books that we refer to again and again and again. Now, they're not essential in that, you know, Carla will reference them a lot, but she'll read out the passages, and so you can follow along. However, of course, if you want to dive deeper, and we will, of course, recommend to do this, get the books, and I have no questions. I know you'll love them because they're the
No
books.
doubts.
No doubts. Yeah. I was like, what's that term again? You know what I mean. You'll love these books. They'll be your favorite dog-eared pages. I mean, do you have a copy of your original book that
my original?
The original. I told her she must buy another one because you can't get this book that's falling apart.
This is my original of the Yoga Sutras.
Yeah.
The cover is it's just hanging on by a thread. But I was leading a session over the summer, and I had so many dog-eared pages that I couldn't actually find the page that I was looking for, and that is what inspired Emma to tell me I need to get a new book. And so I did.
It's great anyway, because this is the older version, and actually the newer version is available. This one here.
This one.
So look how pristine that one is.
I know. I need to dog ear more pages.
Yeah.
What is that? It's not good enough. So those books are absolutely amazing. As Emma said, you'll refer to them again and again. They kind of just live on my desk, and I pick them up all the time and just open them up and turn to them for inspiration. And of course, we also recommend that you have a yoga mat. That's a really good idea as well. But you really don't even need a yoga mat. You can practice on carpet. You can practice on some surface where you feel comfortable.
But I have no doubt if you're tuning in, you probably already have a yoga mat. We also say we recommend to have a yoga strap, a bolster, but these blocks, but also these, I mean, here's a pillow.
Yeah, there's a bolster.
There's a bolster. Oh, there's a feather. A yoga strap, you can use a towel, and blocks, you can use thick books.
Like the Hatha Yoga Pratikaba is a really good block, actually. That's a great block.
However, you can also go out and buy yourself these amazing yoga tools and equipment, and they will not only help your practice and experience a new practice, but they'll also be tools that you will recommend others to use if they need them. And that's what we are all about, using modifications, using these equipment to make everyone's yoga practice feel better for themselves.
Exactly. So next question, will I actually get a chance to practice teaching during the training? And the answer is yes. So before we created our training, one of our research, I guess, activities was to reach out to other people who'd completed other trainings. And one of the questions we asked them was, did you feel confident to teach yoga after your course? And the resounding answer was no. And this really shocked us. And it was something that we kind of set our hearts and minds to, that after our training, we want to make sure every one of our graduates feels confident to teach a class. So that means having the internal self-belief that they can do it, but also that they have the tools and the knowledge to do it. And that is what our course provides in a really beautiful, logical order. There's no crummy courses here, in that, you won't open the course and be like, where do I even begin? What do I even press? Which, I would just tell you, I just bought an online course, and that is exactly how I felt. In fact, I pressed a button and I couldn't even get the video that I wanted, and it just made me quite mad.
But it made you mad, then it made you like, our course is very good. And I mean, this is what happens. This is, we've been working in this online digital world for 12 years. So we've learned a thing or two on how to create great digital products, and we're passionate about great digital products because we have been not only creators, but we've also been purchasers and users of digital products. So we know what irritates us, like bad sound, or like not being able to see the person you need to see. For example, you won't see us filming like a live class and promoting it as an online course, because they're two different things. You can't just record a live class and call it an online course. That's more like just getting a recorded version of an in-person course. There are little tricks of the trade, like how to create an online course, of how to make it feel more in person, even though it's more connected. Whereas if you just record an in-person course, you actually feel more disconnected in the online world.
Yeah, you feel like, I'm not part of that. Like, I wasn't there. Like, what am I missing?
Or like, I can't hear that question because there's no microphone on the person with their hand up. These are all little things that we've learned in the 12 years, and they're important.
They're not little. They're actually big things. So the question was, will I actually get a chance to practice teaching during the training?
We didn't even answer that.
Tangent. But yes, you will. So part of the assessments, which we do actually have another question about this, but one of the assessments is that, I started the question with, people ended up feeling like they couldn't teach. You will feel like you can teach after our course. That is the point I was trying to make. But during the the journey throughout the 16 weeks, you will actually end up teaching 5 full-length classes. That sounds like a lot. That sounds really scary. I know, but trust me and trust the process. As you step through, as you tiptoe through each and every class and you keep pressing play and you keep showing up, by week 12, you will feel like you can teach a full-length yoga class. You will have all the tools to design a class yourself and actually teach that class by yourself. Those 5 classes, I'm just going to go through it now. 3 of them are recorded for us to see, just us. They're just recorded, just you on the screen, and then they're sent to us and just us see them. So not everyone sees them if that freaks you out. And 2 of them, you will then teach a friend or a family member. If you don't have access to a friend or family member, if timings don't work, you just reach out to us and we will hook you up with a buddy within the cohort, which I guess is a little bit of a system that we have to ensure that everyone feels like they can tick off their assessments. It's really exciting. I know that that part sounds a bit scary, but it's actually a really exciting part. And trust me, by the end of a 16-week program, you will accomplish this and you will feel like you can do anything.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to remember that when you sign up to a yoga teacher training, you're not meant to be an expert yoga teacher yet. This is why you do the training, to become the teacher. So don't look at the end and be like, how can I ever do that? Each week you're going to get the stuff to learn. Like you'll learn gradually, layer upon layer.
Yeah.
And then you'll get to that point where you're like, oh, actually I can see it now. It's all unfolded. I should have trusted Carla back then and not felt like a nervous wreck.
Yes, but it's also okay if you do feel nervous, because that's so normal, especially for stuff that you care about.
Exactly.
And we'll also help you with that as well. Each and every week, that's what the live coaching calls are for. You know, we go through these feelings of nerves and we help you overcome them, and we help you gain that self-belief, that internal self-belief and confidence. Since it's online, what kind of tech setup do I need? Is it easy to use? I'm not very good at tech.
I like this question. I mean, we can all relate. I think there's some kind of tech that we're all like, that tech is so annoying and hard to use. We use Kajabi. It's a great system to build online platforms. It's a very simple sign-in process. It's a very logical mapping out of content. We drip out content. We drip out lessons each week. So you don't log in and see like 100 classes and be like, oh, now I feel so overwhelmed. I'm not even going to press play on the first class. No, you just see the first week of content during that first week. And then you tick it off. You watch, you enjoy, you relish in the content, you enjoy the process. It's not overwhelming and it's very simple to use. And of course, we are always there ready to help when you have questions. If you're confused about something, you email me, you message me, and I will answer straight away. I mean, straight away as in like when I see the message.
Yeah, and even if, if you lost your password and you can't log in, that kind of stuff, like don't freak out. Like we are here to help you and here to make sure that you can access it and make that really easy for you and enjoyable, because there's nothing worse when you do log into something and you just feel overwhelmed and you don't know where to click.
And we also use Zoom for the coaching calls. So that's super simple. You click on a link and there you go.
And there we are, right on your computer screen or device. Okay, next question. The idea of assessments really makes me nervous. What do these involve? Great question. I want to underline, that there are assessments. Why? So you can learn how to teach and you can gain confidence. They range from short presentations. I'm talking 2-minute presentations. They are not long. They are not daunting. They are not, they might be daunting for you, but I promise you, once you do your first one, they will no longer be daunting, because you will realize that they're not really presentations. They're more like conversations. And that's what we want you to do. We really encourage a one-take rule, as in when you record them, pretend that you're doing it live, pretend that there's someone there and you can't press stop and restart, because that will just, what is the word that we say? That will just stop you in your tracks.
Yeah, it'll create like paralysis.
Exactly.
You'll be like, oh, I stuffed that word up. Oh, I
said
and I don't know if you've noticed, but this is not edited. Like, we don't do edits. Like, I even have a tickle in my throat right now, and I'm like, can we pause? No, we cannot pause. One take.
Have a drink.
I will.
Have a drink and I'll keep talking. One take rule. It's a very good rule to implement in regard to our assessments. So let me tell you, there are a few 2-minute conversational presentations. There are some online quizzes at the end of each module. So I think there's 7 online quizzes because I break up to, I think we've got 2 for.
And they're open book.
Yeah. So then,
quizzes.
yeah. So
like, they're just little things of like, this content is important. Do you remember review it? Like,
yeah,
that's what it's about.
It's almost like, we should almost call them, rather than quizzes,
Reviews.
it's like reviews, because yeah, you are allowed to go back into your manual and review that question if you've forgotten, because this is just almost like a little bit of a reminder. Hey, this is important. Make sure you know. And then you could go back and review it. And this is what I always say to everyone. Do you think I remember every single like yogic philosophy, now? No, I go back and I review the sutras when it's important, when it's relevant. I'll go and Google it. I'll go and read this passage from this book or that passage from that book. Oh, hello, Chino. He's a good boy, not making too much noise, are you? So some presentations, some online quizzes. As I mentioned, 5 classes that you'll be teaching, and there's also some journals and not essays. Journals. This means very, very like the conversation presentations, very casual. We want to hear your thoughts. We want to know what's going on inside your heart and mind, and you just write as if you were just writing a journal. So we're not marking grammar, we're not marking spelling. We just want to hear from you. That's what they're about. So that's what they are. These assessments get uploaded to a shared drive, which, if that word is not familiar to you, we also help you to set up that shared drive and teach you how to use that. So by the end of it, you won't only have skills to teach. You might have some more tech skills up your sleeve as well.
Very true.
So they all get submitted to us. We review them. This is a really important thing I want to note down. Those, especially for those full-length classes, we review those classes. I give you actionable feedback, which makes you an even more confident and more, I guess, well-rounded yoga teacher. This is something that I didn't really get in my yoga teacher training. I got a few notes here and there from my teacher who was watching, 20 other people at the same time, trying to get notes. I probably got one relevant note that was in particular to a certain thing. I give you time codes for when cues should be changed and for different, I guess, transitions that I might suggest or different sequences that I might suggest. This has been, I guess, so beneficial to our trainees because of the feedback that we've received. I know that this is the truth. And it's also something I really enjoy doing. So it means that we get to know you better, and it means that we get to help you even more.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you have, as the trainers, we have much more, even though it's with recorded content, much more one-on-one time, because we can really sit down and watch like everything about your teaching. Whereas same with me in all my trainings that were in person, the teacher wanders around, like they can't possibly dedicate as much time as we do on the individual person, on the individual trainee. And
it's just amazing when I think about it.
I mean, like, we didn't really think about it when we set up this course, and it's become this really kind of like important aspect of the MerryBody 200-hour teacher training, that we dedicate that time to you as an individual, and we really want to help you become the best teacher possible that you can be.
Absolutely.
And of course, we do get a lot of joy out of seeing you go from so many people, oh, I could never do this, to teaching a full class, and we're like, you can. You can.
And you did it. Okay, this is our last question. Okay, last question. I love yoga, but I actually have no desire to teach. Is it really worthwhile to do this course? Great question. And if this is you, welcome to over half of our trainees who come into this program. They too didn't have a desire to teach, but what they did have was a desire to know more. They had an inkling, a feeling about yoga. They had a questioning, a curiosity. They were wondering, why does yoga make me feel so good? Why do I love yoga so much? I want to know more. Is there more to this practice? Is it just the asana? Is there more? These are the kind of questions that most of our trainees ask. Some will have a desire to teach, but they also have this desire to know more and to go deeper. So the answer is, yeah, it's worthwhile. It's 100% worthwhile. Not only is this course a professional development course in that you gain confidence, you gain skill, you gain a certification, it is so much a personal development course as well. It really is a deep dive in to you, to get to know you, to get to know how you want to live your life.
Yeah, it really ticks off the professional development and personal development. And I mean, if there's one thing I know for sure, accomplishing something like like a yoga teacher course, training course, whatever, online or offline, it really promotes your confidence in amazing ways. Like to feel that sense of accomplishment, of getting something finished as an adult, because sometimes we forget about that feeling. We start our jobs or we get into the motions of life, whatever it might be. And you might love all these aspects. You might love your job, but maybe you're missing that sense of like trying something new, stepping outside your comfort zone and proving yourself, that you can do it. And this feeling is one of like, you're proud of yourself, you have stretched yourself, you've proven that you can accomplish this thing that you set your heart to do. And these feelings are just amazing, and they ripple out to so many aspects of life. Your confidence just grows in all areas, which is pretty damn exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you to everyone who submitted these questions. They were so helpful, not only for us to kind of understand, what were we missing in telling you, but also I know that so many others would be asking this, thinking the same question and not have asked, and maybe it has now been answered. If you still have questions, please reach out. Email us. We are an email away and we will chat to you one-on-one. Because if you're thinking about doing yoga teacher training, if you have that inkling, if you're wondering, I just urge you, not just in yoga teacher training, if you've got an inkling about anything, they are not random. And this is so common for us humans to like feel excited about something, feel passionate about something, and then not dedicate any time of our lives to it because we just think it's not important.
Yeah.
It's not true. It is important.
And you even like, this is part of yoga philosophy, even like, to do for the sake of doing. And I had this conversation the other day and they were kind of mind blown. And, we talk about this all the time.
Yeah.
And they were a musician, but they're also an engineer. So what makes the money?
The engineering.
Not the music, not the music, the engineering. And he was just talking about, like, I just don't see what the point is of doing music anymore. And I'm like, huh? Like, excuse me? A musician is saying this? And I was like, but don't you get joy from picking up your guitar and playing it? Like, don't you feel something in your heart when you write lyrics to your songs? He's writing songs, he's writing, composing music, and they're really good songs. However, he's an engineer. And I'm like, you make the music for the sake of the music. And, it's like all those famous quotes. Alan Watts, you don't do the dance to get to the end of the dance. You don't do the yoga course to just get the certificate. You do it to dive deep into this ancient, amazing content. You practice for the sake of practicing. You don't do down dog to get to the end of down dog. You do down dog and you think, oh, this feels kind of good on my shoulders. Oh, look how strong I'm feeling. You don't do the flow to get to the end. No, you do the flow to be in the flow. And I mean, what is the most important teaching of yoga? Presence. And this presence not only helps us be better yoga practitioners, better at yoga, but it teaches us to be better partners, better parents, better friends, better even in our jobs. Because instead of being at work and thinking like, I have all these other to-dos when I get home, no, you're doing the work. You're here at my office, focusing on the job at hand instead of being stressed about, oh no, like what's happening at home? I've got to put out that fire and I've got to help that person and et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, I feel very passionate about that because I feel like we're living in a time right now where our attention is like, blah.
Yeah, and this is why it's, easier said than done. And this is why it's something that is a practice, but it needs to be practiced in order to be experienced. Uh, you know, this is the whole idea with yoga is that we don't just do one meditation, we don't just do one asana practice, one breathwork practice. We don't just read the sutras once and
Mm.
think like I'm done. I'm good. Like let's go live. That's not what it's about. It is about the practice becoming part of you and that it just becomes part of your life and enjoying and
Mm.
a joyful part of your
Yeah.
life as well. That we actually get to do, we love to do.
Yeah.
And that's why we love this practice. Like we're so passionate about yoga, but we're also so passionate about sharing about these practices because
Yeah.
they are so life-changing and life
Hmm.
transforming.
I want to make one point as well because, I said that like you can't make money with music, but you can with engineering. And that's also not true. Like, and same with yoga. If actually you want to create a yoga business, you can as well.
Well, that was a joke that you said.
Yeah, I know. But I just want to reiterate that because, it's important to also be clear
And
that if you want to do that, you can. If you don't
yeah.
want to do that, you don't have to.
Yeah, you absolutely can create a career out of your passion. We have,
Yeah.
and it is very fulfilling. And perhaps not when you were saying that, it's not the easiest, it's not the easy road. It's not the easiest path to forge, but it definitely is worth it. And another thing we're very passionate about, actually, is people following their bliss. Anyway, enough. We could ramble on and
Forever
forever
and
and ever and
ever.
ever. But once again, if you've got more questions, reach out, let us know. Otherwise, if you're ready to join us for the 4th of May cohort, our 2025 cohort, it is the only time we're going to be running this for 2025. Don't even know if we're going to run it in 2026 because we've got other plans of other trainings that we're
Yes.
creating. So, if it's in your mind that you want to do this, make sure you join us, reach out, ask your questions. Otherwise, we can't wait to start on the 4th of May and have a beautiful rest of your day.
Bye.
Bye.